To-doom, to-doom, to-doom. Are we live? Maybe
I
not.
can see it on YouTube right now.
Yay, that's great. Okay,
Yeah, we're live.
that's awesome. Okay, it's almost time, like 4 seconds. So I think we may start. And I want to say hi to everyone who joined our stream today. I will play Grand Theft Auto 4 and will answer for your questions about game testing and manual testing in common if you have some, and I can share some of my experience in both testing and video games. So, Nikita, are you ready? I can launch the game.
Yeah, just let us say hello to everyone. I just want to highlight that the main theme, the main purpose of our stream today to answer as many questions as we can. Last time we have great feedback from everyone. And we were not able to answer all the questions, all the great insights you can give to everyone, Pavel. So let's try to do it right now. So
Sure.
we have this informal format. As many questions as we can answer, we will try to do it. Just chat, relax, and have fun. Let's start.
Okay, I'm pressing play button. Maybe you may find the first question from our previous event and we may start our discussion.
Sure, sure. Basically, the first thing I would like to ask you, why Grand Theft Auto 4? Do you have some story connected to this game? I think it's not the first time you're
Maybe.
playing it, right?
Uh, yes, I love this game very much. It was, when it was released in 2008, it gave a different opinions about it. Some people told that it's absolutely amazing, it's legendary, and then other people who loved Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for example, they told that, oh, it's not working on my old PC, on my Radeon graphic card with 128 megabytes of video RAM. How can I play this game, etc. And it required several cores in your CPU, so opinions were different. But I've been waiting for this game for a long time. I've read about it in magazines, in newspapers. You know, in Belarus it was a newspaper about video games called Virtual Joy, if I may name it in English. And they wrote about that game, and I read all the articles, and I was waiting for this game so much. Um, and when it was released, they told that it had some very terrible security system that prevents like piracy, like copying this game, and I won't be able to buy it very cheap on my nearest market. So, but in several days, there were another news that some Russian hackers they broke this game, and it's available for everyone. To download, to buy it on your
No.
local store. Yeah.
Sorry, Pavel. Can you please step up from the microphone a little bit?
Oh, it's
The
loud.
first message, it's not about the question, but that we should have some magic around the
Okay,
microphone.
no problem. Yeah,
Okay.
I moved back.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I think that's better.
Yeah, so when this game appeared in my city, after the lessons from Lyceum, I sit on a bus and went to the store to buy it. And what do you think? It wasn't able to run on my old PC. Yeah, it had some old Athlon CPU, 515 and 12 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, and I need to wait like a half of a year to earn money for a new PC to upgrade it to launch Grand Theft Auto 5, and it worked terrible even on my newer configuration because on release on PC optimization was absolutely terrible. And the version of game we are playing, it has several community patches, some modifications that improve performance, add some special effects that were removed from PC version. So this is like the best version of Grand Theft Auto 4. And you may think, why did I moved to this children playground? Because yeah.
Let it be a little bit secret for now. I think the one
Okay.
who if everyone played Grand Theft Auto 4, they knew the magic about this place. But if you talked about performance, let's talk about this first. So it's very interesting topics. For example, we can say that on the release, this game was awfully optimized for the consoles as well. I remember played it on PlayStation 3 like with 20 frames per second or something like this. And of course, there is like a story about the performance, the architecture of PlayStation 3 is not usual, and that's why maybe it is. But the question I would like to ask you about this performance optimization. So, for example, for the computers, we know like there are a lot of there are a lot of different configurations of the computers and how the game can be tested for each like configuration performance-wise.
Yeah, you told everything correctly. So when this game was released, the optimization was terrible on each platform, but the best performance was on an Xbox because its architecture was similar to PC. If I'm not mistaken, it was a Power PC, not x86, but it was easier to optimize for it than for PlayStation 3, who had its Cell CPU with 6 cores and unknown architecture. Um, so yeah, the best way to play Grand Theft Auto 4 in 2007 and 8, it was like Xbox 360. And about testing, absolutely, it's much easier to test the video game on two platforms like Xbox and PlayStation than on huge amount of configurations that have a PC. Some PC may have powerful CPU but weak graphic card. Another one in opposite. They may have different operation systems, like from Windows XP till Windows 11, and yeah. So usually companies gather some statistics to understand the most popular configurations, the most popular hardware that people are using, to understand. Oh yeah, great. To understand what configuration should be tested, and wish that on all other configurations it will be okay. But every game has minimal requirements, and you may be sure that on this configuration they will work absolutely correctly.
So basically, testers have like different PC configurations, and there is a checkbox. Okay, it's tested on this, it's tested on that, right?
Yes, absolutely. You have some kind of matrix where you are checking, like you tested on Xbox in modern world, Xbox One, then Xbox One X, then Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. Yeah, you see nowadays we have lots of consoles also, and it's a little bit harder to check than it was some time ago. Um, so maybe other next topic, or I may a little bit tell about the gameplay that I did about this swing on a children playground. It's a very known issue, a bug that became like very popular, like not feature, but developers didn't fix it uh, for it at all. So yeah, when you drive to the swings, some collision are broken, and the interaction works like a spring, and your car just flew away from this swing, and it gives some terrible damage to your car. Like you saw, even my character died in the beginning because it's stuck between the car and the playground. Um, Similar thing where you may see in Skyrim when you have interaction with giants, because they have some kind of a melee weapon, and they may hit you, and your character, like you started to walk as a sprint, it's collision. So when giant hits you, you just flew away from the ground to the sky to nearest mountain. So yeah, interaction with collisions are most popular like bugs in video games that should be checked and should be tested.
We have already some questions from our audience, and of
Cool.
course, I'm encouraging everyone to write anything you would like to know about game testing. The first question it's
Another
why
potato.
are you wearing San Andreas t-shirt but playing GTA 4?
Wow, how someone noticed it? Yeah, to be sure, I have like this brand Grand Theft Auto San Andreas T-shirt. A friend of mine gifted to me, and it's amazing. On the back, I have like "Grove Street for Life" graffiti that CJ usually writes in Los Santos. Why? Because I don't have a T-shirt with Grand Theft Auto 4, unfortunately. But maybe someday I will order it. You know, nowadays you can customize any T-shirt, and it will be brought to you via post or via any marketplace. Yeah, I thought on this playground also will be a swing that I can check, but yeah, some policemen are after me, so I will just drive away. I want to find, to be sure, some kind of taxi and just to drive some people to their places. So it will be some kind of
Okay, so
cure.
you want to work some
You
additional
work at
hours,
work,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Another question. It's quite, I think, the one on the most interesting for the audience. Uh, how to become a game tester. So maybe to start with any courses to have that opportunity. Before you answer, Pavel, actually, I would like to ask. Well, to tell my story, I
Mm-hmm.
was at school when I was playing GTA 4. And I don't like have plans to go into IT or testing or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But I remember that I wrote to Rockstar the bug report, or how I imagined the bug report that my game crashes at some point on the PlayStation, and they answered me. They I still have a mail from Rockstar. They told, "Oh,
Wow.
okay, thank you very much, thank you very much." Uh, and right now, let's have a more professional approach. So, what courses, what you can like suggest to people?
Good question. Yeah, but first of all, you need to love video games. I think as a tester, you may just do your work in any other area, like I don't know, finance or web application or API test and database, etc., like your usual work. But when you test video game, you need to love video games because uh, it's a very complex uh, thing because you have something that you see. You have some inputs with different gamepads and keyboards and some joysticks, etc. You need to hear something. So every video game contains from varied amount of components, and you need to check them how they're working together. So you need to love video games. You need to love to play them. You need to have as much experience as possible. You need to be aware about the news in video games industry, about the main company who release video games, who produce them. To be aware that, for example, Microsoft bought Activision company some time ago. So everything that happens in market, because its influence on what happens to video game world and what technologies are used in video games, and how maybe something that you heard or maybe you saw on some stream will help you in your work. And yeah, you should be very curious. You need to just not play a game as developers want you to play. You need to try to break it, like any application as a tester. I agree, but you need to how can I say, invent some strange ways how to behave. Oh, I had people in a taxi. Nice. And what about courses? On YouTube, you may find lots of videos about testing game mechanics, for example, about testing graphics, about from what contains graphics, like about textures, about collisions, about special effects, shaders, RTX, how working, etc. So, yeah, mainly on YouTube because I didn't hear. Maybe so yeah, there are some companies who specialized on different courses in programming, in testing, and absolutely they have some courses about video games, but I didn't use them, so unfortunately I can't advise any of them. But be sure that there are a bunch of them, and you may start from any to know about main words, main terms, main things that are used for video games. I wanna start driving people, but I don't remember what key I need to press to start this activity. So I move to settings to check this.
Meanwhile, one more question. It's definitely the question from a dedicated gamer.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about growing hardware requirements for computer games?
I got it. Thanks. Yeah, give me a second. I will go through
Yeah,
the
sure, sure,
settings. I'm
sure.
trying to find appropriate button. Crouch, jump, change camera, look behind. Maybe someone may Google how I may start activity of being a taxi driver because I'm pressing like different buttons and it doesn't work for me. Oh, this is a horn. Okay. Okay, let's move just to the shop. About growing hardware requirements. Uh, so we
I
have
think I think it was always like this, right? You have already told your story of not having a good opportunity to play GTA 4 on release, and from my childhood, I think it's always was a trouble. So then I remember how GTA Vice City was
yeah.
released, and I have a trouble to play it on my PC.
Yeah, it's normal. Technologies are moving forwards. You see the situation everywhere, not only in video games but on in mobile devices. You see new versions of iOS and Android, and you see that on all the devices, for example, YouTube stopped working. You can't log into your Google account because some API changed, some security certificates are expired, some security updates are not provided to these devices. So that's how technology works. They just improve. They just improved by engineers, by new things that appeared, and it's normal. And I even wanted to say that nowadays, for example, in 19th, even there were some funny video clips on YouTube or on mobile devices some time ago, where you just buy a new PC, you come to a shop, you just go out of it, bring it to your flat, and you see the news on the TV that a new version released, like there was Intel 286, then it was 386, and like almost each day there was new version, new CPU, new height was achieved in hardware. But nowadays, for example, from maybe 2015, when Xbox One and PS4 were like on track, uh, progress a little bit stopped in video games. Why I'm telling like this? Because I think till this year, lots of video game titles were released on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, Xbox One and Xbox Series. So, and these consoles were more than 10 years ago released, but they already received newest titles. Not so long ago, I finished a DLC for Diablo 4 on my Xbox One that was released in 2013, but this DLC was released last year, and it worked absolutely normal. But in some areas, yeah, I agree that it was famous interview of Todd Howard, who provided us with Skyrim and then Starfield, and people ask why Starfield has so high requirements, and he answered, just upgrade your PC. You know, GeForce 1050 is pretty old enough. It's not okay to play such modern game with a huge world in space with different planets. This generation of things happen. So in some point
Yeah,
he's right, but yeah, community didn't like this answer, and
I understand what you're talking about. Like sometimes gamers are blaming developers for not optimizing games, but as per my understanding, for the developers, this new requirements, new tech requirements is a problem as well, right? So,
yeah, I in this case I like Apple company, who in, if I'm not mistaken, 2013 they released a new their own not CPU, so yeah, like chip A5 if I'm not mistaken, who was built on x64 architecture, and it just stopped to all applications that were built for previous architecture like x32, they stopped working, and developers knew that iPhone and App Store and Apple are huge market, so they need to change the way they develop applications. So they worked on 64 architecture, and in this case, Apple changed the industry. And so we always need someone who will decline all previous technologies and bring everything on a new step. Because in other case, yeah, we will be playing on Xbox One for I don't know 20 years. It's not okay. Nowadays we have all these neural engines, ChatGPTs, etc. And if you want to run some version of ChatGPT or any other uh, neural stuff on your local machine, unfortunately you need a very powerful PC with lots of threads in your CPU and with lots of video memory. If you want to be on top of technologies, you need to buy the top hardware, unfortunately. But that's great that we have such changes, and yeah, as a conclusion, so I think nowadays it's not so fast as they were before.
we have a advice from the audience.
Okay.
You must complete specific mission to unlock the ability to work as a taxi driver.
Oh, come
The
on.
feature to hail a taxi is unlocked during the mission Ball in the China shop. Once unlocked, you can hail a taxi by pressing the E key on your keyboard if you're
Okay.
playing on PC.
Thanks a lot for
Okay.
this comment. Yeah, I'm in very beginning of the game, and since
Okay, so
I didn't.
you just want to be a crime guy, as I can see, not a taxi driver.
Yeah,
So
a little
it
bit. I
doesn't
think
matter.
I'm. It's okay what I'm doing because I didn't hurt everyone. Just a little bit of action to your live screen.
Some wheels will be burned. That's it.
Maybe.
Okay. Meanwhile, I think we touched a very burning topic about optimization. We have one more comment from our audience. Why do you think nowadays optimization absolutely not great, even when you have the flagship PC or console? Do you think it's a publisher problem more than technical, meaning that they want to release as soon as possible without caring for quality?
Some kind of. Yeah, it's you need always to balance between develop game fast and earn as much money as possible, and between develop a game as long as developers want. But in IT, in video game development, uh, the things that cost most are people, are their salaries, and if you develop a video game for not year but for 5 years, just imagine you need to pay salary for several hundreds of people for 5 years, and the cost of a game increases a lot. And yeah, developers and publishers, they always need to find this balance. Unfortunately, publishers usually have the main word, And if they will say that you need to release this game before Christmas, for example, 2025, you need to release. It doesn't matter how much issues are still opened in Jira or any bug tracking system that they have. You just need to release. In a week you will provide some patch, in second week another patch, and during the next half of a year you will fix this game to the state when it should be released, as it should be released. Unfortunately, yeah, it's modern realities. But if you are aware about the news, you heard about game Hollow Knight Silson and about their developers who just earned as much money for so much money for their first part of a game, so they could develop the second part for years, and they don't have any publishers, any investors, any people who will push them to release. Only fans, of course, who always write them in any social network, all social networks, that when we will have the next part. And these developers told that if not the fans, they would continue develop this game further because they have such amount of ideas, they have such amount of improvements. But they understand, if I'm not mistaken, they developed Silson for 7 years or something like this, and people just stopped, just can't wait more. So they set the deadline, moved some features to future DLCs or updates or next part, and released the game as is. But it was polished absolutely amazing. It has great performance, and there are no any technical clues about it. Just because there were several developers whose dream was to develop this game, and they were living this dream without any other circumstances who may interrupt them. So yeah, this is another example of
A question
video
from
games.
my side. Can we play some bowling right now or at this stage of the game?
At this stage, yes, I have bowling on my map. Thanks for advice,
Let's
because
try.
I'm answering questions and just driving and we can't focus. Thanks.
Cool. We have two more more professional quality assurance related question.
Oh,
The first one, what is considered a low priority bug in games? Any examples?
low priority bug in video game. Okay, let's take Grand Theft Auto. Uh, I remember about the issue in Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. If you remember, they released 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on Unreal Engine 4. And when you hit this light thing near the road, it was like, I don't know, just moving round and round above the road. Yeah, it's not okay. It should be fixed, but it does not affect any performance, or it doesn't like block you from passing the game. But it's not okay. So some kind of this issue, and the critical one is when you unable to go through the missions. If some script didn't work and you can't continue, move to next mission, you can continue your actions, or for example, game crashes. So yeah, crashes in video games are separate type of issues. They have several separate labels. Usually, developers have separate tool that gathers all the crashes. And when game crashes, you see some kind of window with some part of log, with name of some shaders or some files. For example, if game wrote on C++, like some CPP files that were affected, and you have a button like send or report to developers this issue, and this crash will appear in this tool. And if there were a bunch of similar crashes, they will become a group of crashes, and you can later QA manager, QA person or someone may create one Jira bug for this bunch of crashes because they're similar and lots of people face them. So yeah, I wanna bowl. I wanna play. I know, maybe half a game.
By the way, did you saw the article from Skyrim creator just a couple of days ago? There was a statement there that the Bethesda, they didn't polish the game, and it was like the intention, because it gives like more alive, more variety for the gamer. The game is more like interesting in this case. Can you agree with that statement?
A little bit. Yeah, you need to fix all crashes and critical issues and blockers as much as possible. This absolutely. But yeah, you may leave some interesting bugs or not critical just to create some hype near the game after release, because streamers play video games, and they share their experience to the audience, and when they face some interesting bug, it may become a reel. It reels in Instagram or somewhere else, and it like to gather as much audience as possible, and people hear about this game. So yes, that's a great way uh, to what to highlight this game in as much to much audience as possible. Sorry, some
Thank you for your
strange.
answer.
I hear some
One
strange
more
voice.
professional.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
maybe. Okay, okay. Uh, Another question. Do I understand correctly that game testers mostly work in outsource and not a lot of companies actually has dedicated game testers in-house?
Um, I can say that it's like everywhere in all the companies, because as we remember, some indie companies like Knight development, Hollow Knight developers. I sure that they have all testers in their company, and the developers was the testers also. They didn't hire any other company. But yeah, for AAA video games and like Rockstar Company, EA, Ubisoft, etc. Yeah, they always, not always, but usually use they sign a contract with other companies who are specified only on game testing, who will do this. I can say better, but maybe faster. They have all the hardware prepared for different games, and you just share them access to some network to where builds are located, and they create checklists. They check on all the platforms, and yeah, it's absolutely normal to hire another company like outsource company for some separate work, because if in development for 7 years, you understand that main QA activities will appear, I don't know, in last 2 years, and you don't need to pay testers for these 5 years. They will have something to do, absolutely. They will help developers, but not as much as possible. So yeah, it's a great practice in the industry.
Did the testers have their names in the credits in this case?
Absolutely. I remember when I finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and the ending was so, I don't know, emotional. So I looked through all the credits, and they should uh, mention all companies that were working, all contractors, all people who are not in the company right now, but they were working on this title. Uh, so yes, absolutely. And after time, when game was released, you may open credits and show to your relatives that see, I'm here, like one beneath hundreds of people who tested this game or was the developer. But I remember in the situation about Metal Gear Solid 5 and its developer, not developer, but game designer, its father, like Hideo Kojima, when he had a conflict with Capcom in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. We don't know the reasons, but as a result, like all previous Metal Gear Solid video games, they were named like Hideo Kojima game, like on the title. And when the fifth part released, they removed these words like Hideo Kojima game because they have some conflict they had. And yeah, in this case, Hideo Kojima wasn't mentioned anywhere, but he developed this game. He game designed it. He I don't know, like gathered the music. He thought about all mechanics, about all the characters. He wrote them, and yeah, it's not great, but conflicts always appear, and it's huge experience and professionalism to solve these conflicts, who will be with great results for everyone. Okay,
I'm
Roman
start
wants
getting.
uh-huh
Okay, Roman wants some
something, not
something
bowling,
from you.
but go to a
Okay,
show.
okay, okay, okay. Let's try to do it. Another question about difference between AAA game testing, PC game testing, and mobile game testing. So I'm mostly the mobile tester. You're mostly the uh, real AAA game tester. Let's discuss this topic. Is it like two different words?
Mm, I think like not, because nowadays the same game that released on consoles, it may be released on the mobile devices and on PC and even in VR. So like all the platforms, but a huge game it may be AAA. As an example, I can remember, for example, Fortnite. It's on mobile devices. On iOS appeared some time ago. It was on Android. You may play it on Steam Deck, on Xbox One, for example, on PlayStation 5, on low-end PC, on high-end PC. So it's released like on every possible console. And in this case, if you need to check the gameplay or the graphics, so you have the same approach for all the platforms. But in case you need to test, for example, like input, there will be difference because, for example, on mobile devices, you may play not only with the gamepad. Uh, Other words, you may play on a gamepad like on a console, and in this case, everything will be the same. But you also may play on touchscreen, and it will be another experience because you need to check that buttons on screen you usually don't have some kind of uh, haptic or vibration when you play video game on mobile device, when you like press fire button or jump button or just movement. So you need to check that several fingers are so device uh, correctly reacts on several touches at the same time. What else?
And we have a follow-up question.
Mhm.
What about mobile-only games?
It depends on the genre of a game, because if you have like match 3 puzzle, so yeah, we won't watch like think this show. Let's just skip it. If you play match 3 video game, mobile game, so you also just check that it launches, it not crashes, the input works correctly, that it fits to your screen. Because I remember times when mobile devices were with buttons like some Sony Ericsson K750 or something like this, and if you install video game with the resolution that your phone doesn't have, you will see small screen on your screen, or you will the screen of a game won't fit to your screen because there were no automatical adjustment. And you need also to check this, that games are launched at full screen, or on some Android devices they have split screen feature, and you are able to move this application even if it's in full screen mode. You need to share it only for half of a screen. Also, in the mobile games, you need to check, like, it's called interruptions. For example, if you play in a game and someone calls you, or you receive some message from different application, from Telegram, from iMessage, or just SMS, or occasionally your battery uh, like stays 10%, and you have a notification that you are run out of power and you need to plug in your charger. What interruptions also we may have? So yeah, any that may interrupt your gameplay should be tested, because it's mainly about old versions of Android phones who had such not great amount of RAM that it was allowed only to launch one application. You were playing a game and someone calls you, and this call appeared to a full screen. It closed your game, and you, oh no, why you're calling me right now? You break my progress. Roman calls me again. Okay.
So there are some specifics, but actually nowadays it's much closer, right? This border is not that big between AAA games and mobile games that like 10 years ago or something like that.
Absolutely, it's just about hardware, the differences in hardware. Also, in mobile devices, if you're playing online, you need to check like different kind of networks. If you play through LTE or through 3G network or using Wi-Fi, and again, Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, and if there are like you have some tools that you may emulate different network situations. For example, you have great network activity like 500 megabits, but you need to imitate that you have only 1 megabit. And you have some tools for web applications. It's, for example, if I'm not mistaken, in Chrome, in dev mode, you can just enable some limitations, for example, to imitate bad connection and check that pin is okay and packets are brought and everything is okay. It looks like I walked with Roman to the show, and he called me and said that I'm able to work. So I've called him, pressed job button, and I'm driving somewhere to start my taxi activity, I think. So
Okay,
we did it.
sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
What is the most difficult to test game in your opinion, and why? Maybe it can be a huge RPGs like Baldur's Gate 3, open world game like RDR 2, or a multiplayer game like a Helldivers 2. What do you think about it?
What is the most complex case?
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, the bigger the game, the more harder it's to test it. And yeah, all examples are completely are very complex, completely hard to test.
Is that the reason why Nintendo games like um people talking that it's less buggy ones because the mechanics a little bit not that complex?
Mm, I can't agree with this, because if you are taking the Legend of Zelda last
Yeah,
two
yeah, of
parts,
course, of course. But if I understand what you're trying to say, but if we just say like a usual new Mario platformer game, like with the mechanics that's very polished,
mm,
this game probably will have less bugs than some open world game, right?
yes, absolutely. If the more how it's called, the game, like Call of Duty, the plot, the campaign, it just has 6 hours, for example, and game leads you through some way of the game. You are not able to go right or left from somewhere. You may stop, yeah, but sometimes you can't even go backwards to check what happened there. So it's like a corridor, yeah. And in this case, when game is single player and doesn't have um any different ways to go, any different decisions, any different endings, or different options in dialogue, of course, it's much easier to test. And I think in this case, Mario platformer, it's easier to test because it's a single player game and you don't have such amount of variables there. But if I'm thinking about Mario Odyssey for Nintendo Switch, uh, it has open world. It has lots of worlds, lots of planets, lots of bosses. But maybe, yeah, if you are talking about mechanics, maybe there there are less amount of mechanics than in Baldur's Gate 3. Absolutely, I can't imagine how much people were testing Baldur's Gate 3. So it's working. Your game reacts on your actions always it's very hard to break it, to crash it, and even if you do something inappropriate, game knows how to react to this. It's absolutely amazing. But how did they do this? If I'm not mistaken, Baldur's Gate were for 4 or 3 years in beta mode.
In early access, right?
In early access, yes, right, in Steam. And they brought several chapters at first, gather feedback from the fans, from the players, make some improvements, bring next part of the game, etc., etc. So you need to have several iterations during the release to achieve such quality. And even after release, they continue to improve the game. You continue to bring patches. You continue to bring the game to new platforms. For example, in Baldur's Gate 3, there was a case that it didn't work on Xbox Series S because it has a small amount of RAM, if I'm not mistaken, 6 gigabytes or something like this. And co-op playing when your characters are on the same screen and you complete the campaign with your friend, it wasn't working on Xbox Series. And together with Microsoft, Larian Studios worked for a long time to find some optimization things, to some interesting things in architecture of this platform to avoid these bottlenecks, to somehow shrink this game so it will fit this amount of RAM. And optimization is like an art, for example. And I also remember a situation that happened when Nintendo 64 was released. It released in times when PlayStation 1 was on compact discs. Sega Dreamcast was on compact discs. And Nintendo released their console with game cartridges, who has only 64 megabytes of memory when compact disc has like 700 of megabytes.
Nothing changed. Pretty same to the up-to-date situation.
No, changed. Always all moved to the online, to the stores, and
Yeah,
you can download.
of course. But I mean, nowadays cartridges
Nintendo
like
continue,
64 gigabytes or something like that. So it's
for Nintendo Switch 2, yeah, maybe. But just imagine you have 3 platforms. 2 of them have compact discs with 700 of megabytes memory, and you have Nintendo with 64 megabytes of memory. But I don't know what these developers did, but they brought, for example, Resident Evil 2 from PlayStation 1 to the cartridge to 64 megabytes of RAM. And lots of huge games and Mario exclusives and Zelda were released on Nintendo 64. And nowadays, video game enthusiasts brought this and trying to understand how they did it. Because even if you change resolution to the lowest one, it doesn't fit such amount of memory. You may
interesting tower in front of you. Can we go up on this? Is there any
tower. Let me move some backwards to see what we are talking about. Oh, okay. If it's this, I think it's not a tower, just some high building. And what you want to find here?
Can we go up on this somehow?
I think no. It has doors, but they are closed. And in childhood, when we were thinking about the next part of Grand Theft Auto, you overthinking, you make some rumors, you started to think how the next part of the game would look like. And we were dreaming about that you will be able to go to any building.
Open any door. Yeah.
To see the
But
people.
we're still not in this place.
To be sure, modern technologies allow you to do this. It's not a problem because we have lots of CPU threads, lots of video memory, RAM, etc. And I think we don't need this. So why do you need to load all the windows, all the rooms and doors in each building.
Tell it to Bethesda. You know, I think you did remember this joke when the apples in how the last game from Bethesda called
Starfield, Starfield, yes.
Starfield, yeah. Did you remember this when they're showing how cool is the engine by just showing that a lot of
Yeah, thousands
apples,
and thousands.
yeah, and they still remains there. They did not disappear with the time or something like that. So, and basically in Skyrim, I think you can like open any door, most of it, right?
You
And it
know
works in
what is the
some way.
problem of Skyrim? Because it's on the same engine that was Oblivion made, Gamebryo, if I'm not mistaken. Remember Skyrim, when you open any door, you have loading screen. It loads the area from scratch. And we wanted to go to any room like without loading screens. We want to have it will be one world without any interruptions. And it's possible, but we don't need this. You have multiplayer MMORPGs, and you are able to do lots of stuff, become everyone, every profession, be anyone you want. So maybe for these games it will be better idea, but for single player games I don't think we need like so huge open worlds with all buildings available.
A couple of minutes remains and still some questions to be answered. So
Yeah, let's
let's
go.
do it. Let's go. Let's do it to the quiz way. The
Okay.
first one. Would you describe your typical working day? How do game testing team breaks game on test scenarios? I understand how it works for the web or mobile desktop applications, but how do you check the big game operability? Do you have to pass one quest over and over again?
It depends, as I usually answer. It depends on what area you're working on. You don't have situation when you need to check all the game. One person need to check all the game. You always add it to some special feature. I don't know. Even you may have a separate person who will check that all lights are working on all the cars in video game. Like I press stop and I see that stop lights are working on the car. When I move backwards, I see that backwards lights with white color are working on the car. So you always check some mechanics, something, some and like collision, some texture, some small area. And like usual day, uh, you always receive a new build, new version of a game, of game almost daily, and you already have some kind of checklist that you need to have. You need to check this. If you check interactions of your character, check interaction with walls, with boxes, with cars, with hot dogs, with gun. So it's hard to write huge test cases in video game because it's okay to write test cases when you need to check some scenario. Go there, take this, move in another area, kill separate things, and see complete mission screen, for example. Yeah, like some kind of end-to-end testing. But usually you check that some small area. The textures are on the models. That you need to check even audio that needed audio file is played in special case that you don't see the words of one character when other is talking, etc. So no, you don't have like, oh, I won't finish this mission or something like
It's
that.
like about the composition, right?
Yes, absolutely. You need to decompose your part or any video game. When it's in development, you have game design document, and in this document, it describes every small part of video game. These documents are huge. I don't know other word how to say that. It's not huge. It's enormous. It's thousands of pages. It describes every small part of a game, every character, every area, every texture, every even scenario, even words that special characters should tell. And it's like in any other like requirements. So game design document is a requirement that you need to check, and according to the document you create checklists if needed, some scenarios, some test cases if you need to check special physics, for example, because you also have ability to open a game in game engine sometimes, and you need.
Oh, you're not. You failed the mission, right?
Yes, but I need to kill this person, and I think it's not a great
Roman
thing to
Roman
do.
will be mad at you.
It's okay. It's video game. I can skip missions
So,
as much as possible. Yeah.
sorry for disturbing you. Just couple of minutes, just couple of questions. The last game you played for yourself, do you notice a lot of bugs? What is the name of the game? Do they ruin your experience somehow?
Okay, it's not a fast question. I need to think a little bit. The last game I completed, it will be interesting. It was Metal Gear Solid 1 on PlayStation Vita. It has an emulator of PlayStation 1. I started this game on Vita like maybe 6 years ago, and I just found Vita on my shelf, and I blown the dust from it and charged, and wow, I'm in the middle of a game, I need to complete it. And yeah, on last weekend I just played. I skipped all the cutscenes and I just finished it till the credits. And no, I didn't face any issues, but you know, games from PlayStation 1 are just interesting artifacts nowadays. It's has interesting graphic artifacts. Nowadays, we will say that it's a very critical bug and it should be solved. But the architecture of PlayStation 1 was so, I know, strange. And when you draw 3D graphics there, it has some issues with computing the heights of triangles, of polygons, if I'm not mistaken. So you always see your image like shaking. And it's absolutely normal. Nowadays, it would be an issue. But on this year's for 3D graphics, it was absolutely okay. Oh, I think I remembered this interesting example. If you have next questions, please ask them.
Yeah. Video games are a lot of fun, but when it becomes your work, uh, doesn't it take out all the fun from it?
Absolutely not, because when you are familiar to game mechanics or game worlds more than you need to, it brings you more interest and more curiosity to your favorite video games, maybe, or to other games that you want to play. For example, I don't know, you always played such game in one way, but you tested another game and you think, wow, maybe such behavior will work in another game that created on another engine, and you trying to check this, and in this case you may find something interesting. uh, you didn't see it. Okay. So no, for me it helps because, as I told in the beginning, you need to love video games, and when you love video games, you try to bring something from one title to another, from one genre to another. You try to mix it always. You become more curious to your even favorite titles, to play them in other way. Like, you know, there is a lot of videos on YouTube, like for example, pass the first Max Payne video game without killing anyone. Why do you need to do this? No any reason. But it's interesting. What will happen? How will game react to this? Or I don't know, when Fallout, first parts of Fallout released, it was like not meme but situation. Are you able to kill everyone in the village? Why do you need to do this? No any reason. But interesting, what will happen? How will game react to this? So the answer is no. When games become your work, you'll not start to hate video games, or you'll not stop playing them. For me, I play them even more.
Oh, because you can play it on your
Well,
you on your working hours, just like we're doing it right now, right?
in any
So
case, we
we're
will say that
definitely,
it's
yeah.
like our dinner time, and we do it on our own time, not working
Okay,
hours.
okay. We will talk to our management and just say that.
Maybe.
Okay, okay. Um, yes, we do love video games. We actually do like testing, quality assurance, and the last it will be not even the question, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
just an ask for you. Right now, you should become a game streamer. Uh,
Hmm.
I think
Interesting.
in some way we already did it, right?
We already, yes.
This is the second episode of our streams, and I
Yeah.
hope we will have uh, the next episode. We have more. Of course, as long as there is an audience and you're asking questions, and we would like to cover all the topics that are interesting from the professional side, from the just the side of people who love video games as we do. So please subscribe to our channel, give us a like on YouTube, on Ware community, and in this case, we will definitely get back to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that you may write the game title if you want to see I'm playing and we're discussing. Maybe I also has some interesting stories about it. Yeah, put your big finger on our stream. Write comments and ask questions. Absolutely, we will answer them on our next session. And maybe someone wants its session become longer, like not an hour but more. We also will be great to implement this. So yeah, we need to finish.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
thanks everyone. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Who is responsible for the stream? Please stop. Press stop button. I know
Yeah,
you hear
we
me.
can we can do it for one more hour. It's still working hours, right?